Sorry. Oh Lord. Ooh. Oh Lord. Okay. I hope that works out. I hope that works out. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm 9 minutes late. I am so sorry. I'm getting so comfortable, okay? Thank you so much for being here. Lynn says hi. Hi to you. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Wamboy. Thank you so much for being here yet another day. Today is on Wednesday. Okay, today is on Wednesday. How are you doing? Did it just start? Yeah, I just started. I don't know if you guys caught me wiping my screen. I just started, like, oh my god. Yeah, sometimes you really get lazy. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the live stream. Okay, we're gonna be talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Okay, who actually have it worse? Oh, and I did make a mistake when it comes to the title. Let me correct that, guys. Make sure you're saying hi. Let me know where you're watching me from. I just saw it. You liked it. Thank you so much. Um, wow. I was typing in such a hurry. You're glitching. Oh. Oh my God. Am I? Make sure you tell me when it gets better. Okay. I was typing in such a hurry. Yeah. Welcome to the live stream in my screen in my screen. Am I still glitching, you guys? Am I still glitching? Am I fine? Like, is my screen fine? Oh, in my screen. Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh my God. We were just taking so long to get started. Do you have needles? What's that? What's needles? I don't know what's that. Okay. Welcome to the live stream, guys. We are talking about dating in Africa versus the West. And when we talk about the West, you're gonna be talking about US, and we're gonna be talking about European countries. And I know some of you are from over there. So, and also I'm gonna be sharing personal experiences, as you all know that it's squishy. Ugh. Okay, am I live? That's the question. Am I live? I think I am. Yeah. So I'm gonna be sharing my personal experiences when it comes to dating. When it comes to dating in Africa, and the perception of African women and African men, and also we're gonna be looking into the Western world and see what's the difference. Okay, so I think let me type that. Dating in Africa. Are you gonna do a 72 hours live stream? I think that's just pushing it. Maybe I'm gonna do sometimes continuous, but no, right now I can't promise. Right now I can't promise, okay? Okay, so that's what you're gonna be looking at, dating in Africa versus the West. Let me know your opinions, and when you join in, let me know where you're watching me from. My name is Wamboy. I was born and raised in Kenya, and this is I Am Wamboy Live. I usually go live every day, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, so always be looking for me at that hour. Today I was 9 minutes late. Okay, that is really much. I know it's just always fun. Okay, because there's usually no rules, just showing up. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Okay, so we're talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually have it worse? Okay, who actually have it worse? So let's be honest, dating in Africa and dating in the West are two completely different experiences. Okay, dating in African countries, dating in the West are two completely different experiences. CJK Dinov says, "Hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? Can you maybe share your insights? Uh, according to you, dating in Africa versus dating in the West, who actually have it worse, in your opinion? What do you mean dating in Africa versus the West? What does it mean?" Okay, first of all, you said you're 14. I think maybe it's something. Okay, it just means what it means. Like, by reading you can understand. Okay, like the experiences of people who date in African countries, or like dating people from Africa, or the dating scene in Africa, and comparing it to places like US, Europe. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we are looking at. So if you're just joining in, kindly like and subscribe. Uh so the real question is, who is actually having it harder when it comes to love? Okay, who is actually having it easier when it comes to love? Okay, uh, because I think most of us do think that like people in the West are having a better dating experiences, dating experience. Okay, we all assume, you know what, these people are just uh having it smooth. Okay, maybe because I mean by that is uh so maybe because I'm in my 30s, that doesn't give context. That doesn't give context. So like, are you saying maybe it's easier? Because the only comment that came through is maybe because I'm in my 30s. Okay, so there are a lot of things when we can look at when it comes to dating in African countries versus dating in the West. CJ says in the West you literally just hit a person on social media, and the same day they freaking, oh my god. Okay, okay, so that's one difference. Okay, so I think we are going to start with intentions in dating. Okay, in Africa a lot of people date with marriage in mind, even if we don't admit it. Okay, while in the West people date for experiences, fun, or self-discovery. Okay, I think still, even though African countries we are still copying what is being done in the West, we still have that aspect of like and I'm not saying that like in the West people don't date for marriage, or like people don't date with the intention of marriage in mind. It's just a different experience. Like, people want to have some fun, self-discovery experience, you know. Okay, experience, fun, self-discovery. But in Africa, like most people, it's like, oh, you're dating for marriage. CJ asked, how are the men in Kenya? Okay, I think I have been out of the dating pool, or like the dating site for 2 years. Okay, so at the moment I don't know where they stand at, but back then I don't think I have experienced like dating in Kenya, literally, because that time we were just in school having fun, man. Like, nobody was trying to be focused. Okay, we were just trying to have some fun here and there. So but I would say yesterday we were having a show here, and like there was this guy who was bringing up the aspect of like the differences between African men and white, okay, and white men. To be honest, really, for those who are in there, they remember that person. Just because the African men were saying that they can't build a lady, like it's either you come ready made, or like they're not building anybody. And that person, I think it's Kitty, he was saying that, like, remember, you're talking about the mother of your child. Okay, so what I can say, men in African countries are tough. Okay, they're not smooth loving. But okay, I don't think it's my position to tell, but I can tell you for sure. I think it's different. Let me know if you are dating in Kenya, or like, so what's the dating pool in Kenya? Somebody is asking, how are the men in Kenya? Okay, Bridget says Kenya. Okay, thank you so much for joining in, Bridget. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, when you join in, kindly like, subscribe. So we just talked about intentions in dating. Most people in African countries date with the intention of marriage. Okay, but not everybody. I said most. Okay, well, in the West, people are just out there for experiences, self-discovery, fun, and all of those good things. Okay. Dating app cultures in the West. Okay, that's the other one. Apps are huge in the West. Swiping culture, options everywhere, and I think that's what CJ was talking about. Like, when you have a lot of options, because for example in the US, people use dating sites because people don't go out there. And how I know, my fiance is American, so I literally know what goes down there. Like, nobody goes out there to meet people anymore. Like, people are just trying to meet people by swiping. Okay, the moment you have many options, why can you even value what you are having? Like, you have many options, it's all about swiping. Okay, too many options make people disposable. Well, out here, we are also using the dating apps right now, but the percentage that is using dating apps is like 10%, while everybody else is trying to meet the traditional way, maybe at work, at school, you know. CJ says, I think he had meta glasses on. He was recording them without their consent. Oh, okay. I know who you are talking about. That random guy, the Russian one. David Njoroge says, hello everyone. Hello to you, David. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. We have this topic, dating in Africa versus dating in the West. And I think yesterday, David, we were here when we had somebody saying that, like, you can literally see how African men think. Okay, so what do you have to say when it comes to the topic? CJ says he made it seem like African women were easy. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Yeah, it was a Russian. I think it was a Russian guy. Okay, but you know what? There is that. Let me tell you, African women are not easy. It's just like when they see white men, when they see these white men with, there's that white worshipping that goes on, and that's that assumption of like, oh my God, this is a white person, they're gonna change my life. There's just that assumption, and we all know that that happens. I don't know if it only happens to black people in Kenya, or does it happen to black people. I know for sure it happens with black people in African countries. I don't know if it happens with black people in America. I don't know if it happens with black people in Jamaica, black people in Haiti, all these places. So I just think those women are not being easy. Honestly, I can tell you for sure, most Kenyan men can tell you that they are not even able to access those ladies. But then just because they saw a white person, it's like, oh, this person is gonna change my life. Okay. Evans Baller says hi to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Make sure you are sending in your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about the topic, dating in Africa versus dating in the West. Okay. We've talked about intentions in dating. Most people in African countries date with the intention of marriage in mind, while in the West, it's all about experience, fun, self-discovery. Okay, people are trying to have experience, like sexual experiences, through being in relationships. CJ says it was very big on Twitter. It was in Kenya. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. I know. No, I know about it. That's what I'm talking about. The Russian guy who was recording women on the road and then tells them, can we meet later on for dinner? He brings them in the house, and I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. So dating cultures, another difference is dating cultures. In the West, people are so into like the dating apps and stuff. Well, still in Africa, people in Africa it's growing, but still mixed with real life connections. See, CJ says, okay, it was kind of funny, to be honest. It wasn't funny, it was humiliating. It was humiliating. But you know what? Who knows? But the most humiliating part was the part where, like, even women who looks like they are married, they were almost falling for the trap, or some of them did fall for the trap, okay? Can you imagine? And it got me thinking, like, if we are that so much into like the white worshipping thing, and I'm not saying that it's bad to want other people, but just that type of worshipping where you even have a husband at home, but you're willing to sleep with someone just thinking they're gonna change your life, is really embarrassing. Sony, what? Hello Please, you know what? You should stop that nonsense. I don't know who you are. Bullshit. Stop that nonsense. Uh-huh. So I think the other one is Philip Summer says hi. Okay, hi. You know, God, let me tell you, you guys on this internet thing. God, people are so random. This texting that nonsense here, Lord. Okay, let me just stop. Philip says, hello, good morning. How are you? I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about dating in Africa or dating in Africa versus dating in the West. Who actually has it worse? That's the question that we are asking. And when we are at it, maybe we can look at, would you rather date in Africa or in the West? Okay, let me type that question. Okay, so that's a question. Let me pin it so that you guys can access it really easily. Okay, let me read the chat. You look good and beautiful. I like your hair. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Samuel Njuguna says, hi. I like your hair and your smile. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, good morning. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing? So there is a question right there. Would you rather date in Africa or in the West, and why? Okay. Something else that I did want to come to is like money and lifestyle when it comes to dating in Africa versus dating in the West. Okay. Financial stability is a big factor when it comes to dating women in African countries because most women still rely on the men. Men are still the providers when it comes to relationships, okay? While in the West, it's mostly like a 50-50 factor. Like, it's 50-50. Like, the woman, they have their own finances, they have their own jobs. They're not trying to look for relationships just so that they can be able to have some food, okay? They already have that going on. So, which means when it comes to relationships, for them, like money and lifestyle, it's a factor, but it's not really a factor for them, okay? Because they already have their own money, like they're already working, and for them, even if they lose the relationship or they stay in the relationship, it really doesn't phase them financially, like they already have their own money. While in African countries, and that's why maybe CJ, the guy that you saw who was recording women with the meta glasses, that's what it is. Like in African countries, financial stability is a big factor because in most African countries, women don't make enough money. Okay, women don't make enough money. So the way these women were being like, oh, this guy is saying hi, and they're just following him, is just for the finances or like for a few favor here and there. Maybe they thought, oh my god, I met somebody who is gonna be opening opportunities for me, and I just think that's what it is right there. Philip Sommer says in Africa. So you in Africa? I'm Kenyan. So does that count as Africa? CJ says, have you ever dated a man from the West? Okay, yeah, literally. Yeah. I am right now. Okay, so maybe we would go to like talking about the differences between like when it comes to, but you know what, I think I'm not the best person when it comes to like talking about differences between Western men and Kenyan men or like African men. I'm not the best to talk about it because honestly, by the time like I before I got into a relationship, I was in campus, so we were just out there having fun. So I wouldn't be able to give a committed picture. But what I would say, it's different because first of all, like when you are dating somebody from the West, there's cultural differences, okay, between of course between Africa and For example, let's take an example of US, okay? There is a lot of cultural difference when it comes to lifestyle things in Africa when it comes to US. One of the culture shocks for me was the dowry, okay? In African countries, almost all the tribes are so much into dowry, okay? You have to pay dowry when you want an African girl. And that's something that we've been practicing for years. But also just realizing that people in the US don't pay dowry is like they just bless you with their girl and that's it. And also the other another culture shock, but that dowry thing was huge for me. Okay, that was such a like a shocker. Like, wow, you guys don't pay dowry, but they can when you get married as the lady, like I think you should follow your traditions as the lady. Philip says you have a sparkling tooth and nice lipstick. Okay, thank you so much. Deterrell says is a lot. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So another culture shock when it comes to okay, and maybe I should do a okay, but you know what? Let's just do it right now, okay? So the dowry thing. What do you guys think about dowry? The way Africans pay dowry when it comes to like if you want to marry an African girl or mostly a Kenyan girl. And I would go down to Kikuyu girl. If you want to marry somebody who is Kikuyu, you literally have to be ready to pay dowry, okay? So, well, for him, for the culture that he comes from, they don't do that. Like, it's just like, okay, you guys want to get married, and the parents just bless you, no expectation, okay? And honestly, I like that culture of not paying dowry because I really don't like the idea of like my parents selling me to some man. Okay, it's not some man, it's your man, the man that you've chosen. But having your parents sell you, yeah, okay, because as far as we are saying is appreciating the family for bringing up their girl and giving it to the man, it's like, no, you don't want to be sold. CJ says, never realized Kenyan women were so pretty. Okay, thank you. Philip says, yeah, Africa is a wonderful place and beautiful because of its naturally beautiful land and nature and people. Okay, thank you. CJ says, what exactly do you mean pay hourly? Not hourly, dowry. Dowry. Let me type it. Dowry. Okay, to marry an African girl, you have to pay dowry. That's something that we've been doing here for years, like paying dowry, and just realizing that people don't do that in the US. The parents just bless you to go and start a family, and that's it. Okay, that was such a culture shock for me. Another culture shock for me was like, you guys don't believe in curses. People in the US don't believe in curses. Like, see, like the way parents usually like threaten children, I'ma leave you a curse. They don't believe in that. Like, no, they don't believe in, and also the parents don't threaten their children with like, I'ma curse you. They don't believe in that. Okay, they believe in respect, but they don't believe in like cursing. Like, you know what, okay, you know what I'm saying, like what we usually talk about, curse. Not the curse words. I know you guys are confused now. Not the curse words, but like, you see, like what the Bible says that your parents can curse you and can curse your generation. In America, most people, but I'm talking about Black America. I don't know about white Americans, okay? They don't believe in those things like curses, okay? But of course, when Black people got to America, all their traditions, all the languages that they knew were taken away from them. So Philip says, so are you on WhatsApp? Oh, I am, but like I don't share my contacts here. CJ says, okay, I've never heard of that. Do they pay monthly or yearly, or how does that work? So there is a set amount that it depends with the family, okay? So it depends with how much so my mother was bought by my dad. So that's what sets the price, but also how much they've invested in you. For example, for me, I'm educated, I have a degree. So that might also contribute, like that might make it to be a little bit more expensive. Whereas for some people who are not like educated or something, it might be cheaper. So it depends with the family, like what this family does. And also it goes with communities. For example, it's different for Kikuyu people, different for Kamba, Masai. It depends with the tribe that you're marrying into, okay? But it's a wholesome experience, but sometimes it's like, why do I have to be sold? Yeah, it's not monthly or yearly. It's just a set thing that uh you don't pay hourly. Okay, like how would you pay monthly or yearly? But it's a set price that you literally have to pay to get married. Devin Joroge says dowry is a good celebration. I like it. Why do you like the dowry celebration? Uh, I feel like it's a practice now that we are trying to make sure that like we kind of like neutralize the patriarchy and women are not suffering in marriages. I feel like it's also good to remove that whole dowry experience and just bless the girl to the family. And what they can do is like, okay, but anyway, if you remove the dowry, the family will not give you anything. They will be taking your your girl for free. So out here, if especially in my community, if you take a girl and you haven't paid the dowry, people will be saying that like you are literally on debt for her nakedness or something of that sort. It's literally a direct translation, but that's just what it is. CJ says so dowry is basically like a honeymoon, just in different terms. No, it's not a honeymoon. This money is paid by the man's family. Okay, the man's family pay a price or pay a particular amount of money. Sometimes the money equals to a number of cows, and one cow could literally go for like 130,000, which is one cow can go for $1,000. And then this family says we want 30 cows, which means maybe her dowry is $30,000. Okay, so it's something of that sort. And there are practices where like, the other day my aunt was having a celebration, a dowry celebration, and I was like, you guys might not be interested, so I was like, I will not just go. I wanted to video record that. You guys would have seen that. The next time I get invited, I'll make sure I go so that you guys can see what happens. CJ, I am surprised that you don't know what dowry is. Okay? Wow, I learned something new. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about dating in Africa versus the West. And also, I'm talking about some of the culture shocks, realizing that people in the US do not pay dowries when it comes to marriages. Okay, you can see somebody like CJ is asking, so dowry is basically like honeymoon? No, like you as the man, you pay money to the girl's family to take their girl. Okay. Let me know one of the culture shocks that you ever realized when you started interacting with people from the West or even people from Africa if you're from Europe or from the US, okay? David Njoroge says, for me personally, at least our culture are not completely forgotten or thrown out. It's a traditional wedding that dates back to our ancestors. Plus, the culture is not forgotten. Yeah, the culture, the whole dowry thing is still here with us. Okay, so so another culture shock. Okay, I'm saying the culture shocks that I had when I started dating my Black American boyfriend. Okay, fiance. Sorry. Okay. One is not what I said, dowry. The other one is that they don't believe in curses. Like if a parent is being a jerk, it's just like this parent cannot curse you, so you're just free to move. You respect your parent, but you don't worship them like the way we are made to do out here. And I'm not saying that we are made to worship our parents, but most of the time, our society or like our culture just allows us to be like so. We are willing to cut some slack for our parents, like even when our parents are being rude or something. In Africa, because we know parents can bless or curse you, we literally just go along with it, even if your parent is being a jerk. Okay, in the US, people have absolutely no problem cutting their parents off if their parents is being a jerk. Okay, that was another culture shock because I'm like, ain't no way I'm cutting off my parent, ain't no way, like, but because they don't believe in the curse thing, it's just easy. Okay, but out here we are sold with fear, like your parents is going to curse you. Do you guys have that thing, or am I misunderstanding? Do people have the whole cursing thing in America and also in Europe? Like if you should obey your elders because you might get a curse or something. David says dowry is like a token of appreciation. That's how one can look at it. okay, a token of appreciation because for the family bringing raising a woman for you. Hmm. Okay. So something else, and remember we were talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually has it worse? That's the question that we're asking. Be free to comment anything, and I'm gonna be reading your comments and what you're thinking. Okay. Okay. Another thing is effort and gender roles. Effort and gender roles. African men are often expected to provide more financially. Like I said, in African countries, women, okay, yeah, even though we are being given equal chances, men still are the providers. Okay, we are being, at the moment we are being given equal chances. So but okay, still the chances are not as equal as you all expect. We are saying that we are giving men and women equal chances, while when we vote, mostly we do prefer to vote for men. Okay, so African men are often expected to provide more financially, while in the West, these women are already making money for themselves. They are already as empowered as the men. They can get any job that they want. So you understand what I'm saying? So when in African countries, men are expected to provide more financially. Western dating leans more towards 50-50 because the men and the women, everybody is making money. So this helps the women not to be like, they're not there for the money or something. They're just there because okay, they want to be with you, which literally makes a huge difference. Okay, because when you're dating and it's not because you don't have options, you're not desperate. When you're dating, when you're not desperate, you have other things going on, you're more likely to make better decisions when it comes to dating, and you're less likely to persevere when it comes to people being jerks to you and stuff like that. Okay, and this brings me to a question. Uh, do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Okay, let me type that so you guys can be able to read for yourself. Do women actually want equality? Okay, do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Because I feel like out here we preach water while we drink wine when it comes to most women. Okay, uh you're saying we are all saying that we want equality. Okay, but are women willing to work as much as the men are working? Because still out here the financial thing is a huge factor, because most women, still we are still not at a place where we are able to provide for ourselves. Okay, most women, most men out here are expected to provide 100%. uh okay, so CJ says, you okay, somebody says you did not okay, Philip says you did not answer my thing is I don't share my number here or anything. So I think I did answer your question. I don't share my number, unfortunately, or fortunately for me. CJ says, I understand what you're saying. African women are more dependent on men. Okay? Guys, you can hear that. African women are more dependent on men. And that's just what it is. But it's still because we have our traditions. Even if we are copying the West, we still have our traditions in place. And also another thing, there's less opportunities out here. So still, while there's less opportunities, men can go and lift stones out there and they can have some money. They can do these hard works, while women, most women just depends on white collar jobs. Okay, or maybe something that they would do with a skill. Okay, but that literally makes a difference, because if there's no job and a woman cannot do these hard jobs, so see, that literally makes a difference, because at the end of the day, most women are ending up being more dependent on the men. So yeah, African women are more dependent on men, and that's just what it is. While in Europe, these women are not trying to entertain these men for money, because they are already making theirs. Even if it's a small portion, is something that can literally sustain them. And also, not to mention, there are more opportunities in US and Europe. David says, yes, plus mostly the main reason was to also bring two families together to avoid intermarrying in the same family clan. During the ceremony and celebrations, people meet and know each other. Okay, guys, we were talking about differences between or culture shocks when it comes to dating people from the West. And I said it was such a culture shock to realize people in the US don't pay dowry. Okay, that's not a thing. They don't pay dowry. Like, that's not a thing. They just give you the girl and it's like, take good care of her and that's it. There's no that buying and selling of children, not of women. Okay, another thing that we are talking about in the US, they don't believe in curses like the way we think that our parents can be able to curse us. Like, out, they don't cut slacks for parents. If your parent is being a jerk, then it's like they are being a jerk. So they're also not afraid to cut off their parents. So that's also another culture shock for me. Okay, and also David is telling us the reason for dowry, because somebody was asking what's dowry, like why dowry. Okay, yeah. And we have a question on the screen. Make sure you're answering. Do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Monday Africa says hello to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Yaviel Lewy says hi to you. Good to see you. CJ says, have you ever been married? No, I've never been married. I'm just 23 years old. I'm gonna be turning 24 soon. So never been married. Uncle Juke says hi to you, Uncle Juke. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Oh wow. Yeah, so we've talked about the financial part, we've talked about the intentions in dating. So another part that we rarely talk about is loyalty versus options. Okay, in Africa, community and reputation still matter. Okay, there's still the whole reputational thing, like, oh, you know. Okay, let me read this. Hi, thanks for all the support. Yeah. Oh, okay. So out here in African countries, reputation still matters. Okay, in the West, anonymity makes it easier to move on quickly. Okay, so it's like, and I think that's what we are trying to do right now, even in African countries, because we are getting more most of the places are becoming cities. Okay, and we are just starting to live that lifestyle of like what is it called, the lifestyle that you guys live in the US. We are starting to live that lifestyle. Okay, which means even the whole sleeping around thing, it was never an African tradition thing. Okay, but through movies, for example, what they show us on Netflix, women have become, oh god, and also through this social media stuff, we are able to see what other people are doing out there. And like, women out here, even in Kenya and African countries, is like, okay, women are doing that. Like, okay, you just don't sit there and see a man put their hands on you, stuff like that. Okay, also women are cheating. Okay, so the loyalty thing in Africa is still there in African countries, but still it's going away, because of course, as you all know, we are copying the Western culture. So reputation still matters, and if you still have a reputation to keep, you are more likely to be loyal. Okay, CJ says, oh wow, you seem very intelligent for your age. Forgiveness is underrated, says the finest girl in Kenya. Thank you for being here. Okay, so guys, do you agree with the whole thing that I'm saying about loyalty versus options? Okay, people in the West, mostly even people in the West, don't even know who their neighbors are. Like, they might, but it's more of a culture of just staying put, staying in, keeping to themselves and all of that. So which means they don't open up to a lot of people. Okay, so which means at the end of the day, you know what, I got my own finances going on. I don't depend on you financially. Like, you're just a random person. Like, what makes you think like this person could literally cheat on you? Like, you guys don't know each other. Yeah, so it's just like, you know what, you can literally you can literally cheat. Guys, we have a question. We have a question on the screen, guys, on the chat. Do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Okay, help me answer that question. And the reason why we are asking this is because, of course, we are talking about the way African men are still expected to provide. Well, in comparison to those in Europe and in the US, because women in the US and Europe have more opportunities, so they are more likely to work. Okay, when in Africa, where there is opportunities, most opportunities are meant for the men, like the hard works. Okay, no one is to say that a woman cannot be involved in like a construction project. She can, but most probably she will not be preferred. Okay, so which means the men being end up being the people who have the burden of providing. Isabella says, hi, hope you had an amazing day today. I did. How are you doing? Good to see you. Where are you watching me from? Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We're talking about dating in Africa versus in the West. Who actually have it worse? Make sure you're saying hi. Kindly like, subscribe. My name is Wamboi. I was born and raised in Kenya, and this is I Am Wamboi Live. I normally go live every day between Monday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So convert that to your local time, and you will always find me here. Crime says, I love African women. Oh, okay, good. CJ says, I mean, I'm very fond of my neighbors. Where would you get that assumption about the West? Okay, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Like, for example, okay, personally, I'm using my fiance as an example, okay? The way, the lifestyle that he lives, okay? In the neighborhood that he lives, literally is a mostly white neighborhood, okay? Nobody says hi to anyone unless there is a power outage, okay? No one, like, everybody keeps to themselves. This DoorDash, like, you don't have to be outside. When he has to go somewhere, he's using his car. Like, even going to the mail, and it's just few steps. Like, yeah, he's using a car. So all the time, you don't get a chance to interact unless you're working with people. Okay, so, and also he doesn't know the neighbors. Okay, that's another thing. And I think it's common. Maybe you, where you live, it's a neighborhood where people are social. But in some neighborhoods, especially some high-end neighborhoods where people, you know what I'm saying, especially white neighborhoods and high-end neighborhoods, it's like nobody talks to anyone. Okay? I mean, it's nice hearing different perspective, but I don't think that's the case about neighbors. God, trust me. I can't come here and just pull things out of my, I don't know. Yeah, so I literally know what I'm talking about. The neighborhood that okay, it depends with the neighborhood. That's it. It depends with the neighborhood that you're living in. Most people in the US, even Kenyans who have moved to the US, I have heard so many people say that it's literally so lonely. I can't imagine like driving everywhere. Like, I want to go to the market, I'm driving. I want to go, you know, sometimes. When do you get a chance to walk? Okay. Organ says, hi, how are you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you. Didier Mbola says, hello, how are you? I'm good. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about dating in Africa versus the West, okay? And we have a question on the screen. Do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Do we want to have the equality? Do we want to have the same opportunities when it comes to work, but still we are expecting the men to provide the same way? Casa says, okay, take you out for tacos. Tacos. Oh my god, they're not common out here. Not common out here. I would like you, CJ, to come back to you with, of course, I did explain myself for like where I'm getting my perception from. So do you still think it's strong? Okay. But also, I also think it depends with somebody's age. Okay. People who are young are more likely to like, yes. And also neighborhoods. Neighborhoods is the most important aspect, okay? So, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you are, Africa or the West, okay? I think dating is only as good as the people in it, okay? Dating is literally a reflection of the society's cultures, what people are doing, you know? Like, when you go to And you know, I think I did focus so much on Africa and US because honestly, I don't know, have anybody, if you have ever been in contact with like Europeans when it comes to dating, how does that go down? Okay, I love your perspective, but we can agree to disagree. Okay, I'm in Kenya. Okay, and I know we can agree to disagree. That's what it is. Trinity says, "Oh, I'm good. Welcome to the live stream, you guys. My name is Wamboy. We are talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually have it worse? Okay, who actually have it worse? We've talked about things like dowry, the differences. So let me know if you've ever dated outside the culture. So what are some of the difference? What are some of the difference? And I would like to hear the perspective for people who not only Kenyan. If you're from any African country, let me know your perspective. Faria says, "Hi, my friend. I'm from Brazil. Napenda ngozi yako." Okay, Brazil in the building. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the live stream. Can I marry you and get you? Oh God, let me tell you, I have said here several times on this channel, like that doesn't faze me. Okay, honestly, I am one of those people who are content in being in their country. Okay, that's just what it is. Like, first of all, like right now, I just live a normal life. Like, what? And let me tell you, this is not even the first person. This is not the first person who comments that nonsense. God. Okay? Why would somebody be so desperate to even move in with somebody that they don't know, they don't have a relationship with, just for a green card? What is the greatness in this country? Like, okay, God. What is that greatness? To even risk your life so much and moving with a stranger, okay? I don't know if you guys saw that case of Ashley Gine, the Black American girl who they had flown to Zanzibar for her birthday and also for engagement. Okay, did you guys see that story and what did you think about it? Siabonga Dlamini says, hi to you, Siabonga. Good to see you. CJ is just laughing. Okay, is this why do people think that everybody who is African just wants to go to the US? Like, what? We are not disagreeing. You guys have better opportunities, but some of us are just contact. Like, let me tell you, my parents have never even thought about going to another place. They know the life in our farm, and that's just the life that they are trying to live. Okay, and it's just so surprising to see people's mindset when it comes to the topic. Okay, great point. You should take great. Okay, how great is this country? And I know even right now it's literally ruined. First of all, let me tell you one thing. In America, without money, you can't survive. You'll literally be homeless. Out here, I can live without a job and I will not be homeless. Okay, I can live out here for free. Even like, for example, in our farm, like we don't pay any rent out there. We plant everything. Like, life is just free. Like, there's no such bills that I see people paying. When you go to the hospital, the bill is literally through the roof. Out here, I can get sick. I don't have, let's say I don't have an insurance. I get sick, go to the hospital, and it's just a few shillings. Even though today the price of oil just increased. Don't even remind me that. Okay. Yes, welcome to the live stream. I think let me ask the other question. Do you think dating apps have ruined relationships? Am I sleepy at this hour? Do you think dating apps... Okay. Okay. I don't know where people that get that whole thing. To the question, like, do I think people dating apps have ruined relationships? Yes, because you always know there's always another person. When you swipe again, there will always be another person. So most of the time, you'll meet somebody who is literally so good to you, so good for you, but because you know you're still gonna swipe, you're like you literally don't care. Okay. uh okay. CJ says you have great topics. I hope your channel gets bigger. It's gonna get, I think it's good. I think I'm gonna give it a shot for a while, like, because I know consistency pays off. Yeah, and also I did say that I'm gonna start doing a lot of, maybe showing you around. Okay, but even though yeah, maybe showing you around, and I know these topics, I always wanted to, like, have people talk about the topics like this for a whole 2 hours, but never, no, I never did. I was like, maybe I can start doing it. Okay. Do you think dating apps, guys, do you think dating apps have ruined relationships? So when you ask me, do you think dating apps have ruined relationships? Do you think dating apps have ruined relationships? I'm gonna say yes and no, but not because they've given people more chances of, like, meeting their partner. Because if you can't meet your person in your country, now you have options of, like, even seeing people outside of your country, or meeting people. Okay, initially you are just likely to meet somebody in your neighborhood, okay, or like in your school or in your job or in your university. But right now, because courtesy dating apps, you can meet somebody who is 10,000 miles away from you, and that's just been made possible because of dating apps. So I can say yes and no. Okay, do I think, guys, make sure you're answering the question, do I think dating apps have ruined relationships? There's that question that we are answering, do I think dating apps have ruined relationships? So it's yes or no. The way that it has ruined relationships is like people never get satisfied. I watch this show. It's called Nosy with Karamo and, like, Mori. Okay, you'll always see that when these people come on there to have their phones unlocked, they have dating sites and they are married. Okay, because it's never enough. You always know, oh God, I can get on that dating site and just swipe for fun. Not to mention even social media. So I feel like it makes people not appreciate what they have at the moment, but always look for something outside. Okay, so I think that's just what it is for me. Like, it's good because you're more likely to find your partner with the possibility of dating sites, and also it's led to a lot of intermarriages. It's led to a lot of intermarriages between different races, between different cultures. So I would say, like, it's yes and no at the same time. Derek Chani says hello. Hello to you, Derek. Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? Let me know how you're doing. What do you think about dating in Africa versus the West? Who actually has it worse? Okay, I think we've discussed dating in Africa versus the West, but we haven't had the question, like, who have it the worst? Dating in Africa versus in Europe, who have it the worst? And I know people in African countries, we have that mentality, like, people in the Western world are having it better. But I think the dating is a reflection of the people, it's a reflection of the culture, it's a reflection of beliefs that people have. So, for example, in Europe or like in the US, men are more likely to help with house chores. While in African countries, men are likely to be very rigid on the gender roles, like, oh, I'm supposed to be providing, you're supposed to be doing the house chores. So there's that. So I can only say that, like, dating will only be as good as the people, okay? Because dating is literally a reflection of the culture. Derek says, I'm fine, and yourself? I'm good. Your kid, thank you. Thank you. So what do you think? Do you think dating do you think dating apps have ruined relationships? Do you think dating apps have ruined relationships? That's what we are asking right now, guys. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Thank you so much for being part of the discussion. Oh my God. I usually go live every day. Like, sometimes we are just here. Maybe sometimes we have topics every day, but mostly not. Okay. Are you married? I'm engaged. I'm engaged. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah. So. Let me. I think. Let me ask the other question. Kennedy. Kennedy. Is it Kennedy or Kenny? Kenny. Oh my God. Sorry. Kenny Davis says dating apps ruined relationships for sure. How, in your opinion, how have dating apps ruined relationships? In your opinion, how have dating apps ruined relationships? In your opinion? Okay. As we wait for Kenny to message back, if he will. So there is another question: is 50-50 real or something people say online? Okay. And as we were talking about this topic, I was emphasizing the way, like, mostly in Europe and US is 50-50 because the environment, everybody has equal chances out there of getting jobs. Okay. But when it comes to African countries, is 50-50 real, or is it just something that people say? Okay. Guys, welcome to the live stream. My name is Omboy. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my God. Thank you so much, you guys, for being part of the family. Thank you for always coming back. So today we've been talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually have it worse? You can look and see what you want. Oh, you can look and see what you want. Whatever you want as the dream guy or dream girl. Yeah, that's just what it is. Like, out there's everything. Like, and I think you literally brought out my thoughts. Okay, with the possibility of dating sites. Like, okay, you even argue once in a relationship because you're like, okay, even if we separate, I'm gonna go back to the dating site, and I have possibility of even getting hookups and stuff like that. So you don't appreciate what you have. So I agree with you, Kenny. Thank you so much for being here. Bob says 50-50 is real when you're not dating hungry people. Ah, Lord. Okay, 50-50 is real when you're not dating hungry people. Okay? Bob, before you got here, we were talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually has it worse? Dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually has it worse? And constantly I was talking about the fact that most women in Europe and in the US have jobs and they're not dating for hunger. Like, these women are not dating because they can't provide for themselves. They're just dating because they want to find love. Okay, which is literally the opposite for us in African countries. And the reason why is because we are given equal chances, men and women, but there's no opportunities. And the opportunities that are there, for example, building, digging holes, all these things are things that only men can be able to. Okay, not okay, whatever men can do, women can also do better, maybe. But when it comes to, like, lifting stones, putting them in the fifth floor, no, most of the time women can't do this stuff. So, which means at the end of the day, who is ending up with money in African countries? The men, okay? Which literally, they are literally the providers. So, I see what you're saying. 50-50 is real when you're not dating hungry people. But I think the hunger can only end if there's equal opportunities. Igan Chisenga says, hi, how are you doing, beautiful? I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Womboy. Kenny says, no, ma'am. Women in the USA hungry with a job. That's even funnier. That's great. Let me tell you, out here, the opportunities are so thin. So when you see somebody like expect you to have your things together as a man, they really mean it, because most probably as a man you're more likely to find opportunities. Okay, we are being told that we are giving men and women equal opportunities, but on the ground, is it real? But well, that's really bold for you to say women in USA are hungry with a job. Because honestly, if I had a job, we would literally just go 50-50. Uh okay, especially if you're making around the same money. Okay, because there's other money like out here. You can even find that a woman have a job but she's only making 10% of what the husband is making. So who is supposed to be providing? The husband. Okay. Oh Lord. So what do you think, especially somebody like Bob who was saying that uh it's real when you're not dating hungry people? So what do you think about 50-50, especially when it comes to the reality of like there is no equal opportunities in African countries? Should 50-50 just apply to the countries that are developed with jobs? Ah, you okay, what is the word that I wanted to say? You're so materialistic, Bob. You're so materialistic. If my wife can't contribute before pregnancy, I don't wish to marry. You're so materialistic. Oh my god. So you're looking for, you want her to have a job and to have money so that you can gold dig. So you're literally a gold digger, Bob. Ah, you're literally a gold digger. What's the meaning of Abishola? I don't know what's the meaning of Abishola. Oh my god, guys. We have a question on the screen. Is 50-50 real? Or is this just something that we do say online? Ah, that was funny. That was literally so funny. Uh, it can be real when you're not dating hungry people. And how do you tell when people? How do you spot people who are hungry and those who are not hungry? Bob says 50-50 can be real when you're not dating hungry people. Oh, Lord! How do we come back from that? How do we come back from that? Like, 50-50 can be real when you're not dating hungry people. Lord. It's a Nigerian name. Oh. Oh, it's a Nigerian name. Okay, Abishola. What does it mean? Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. We're talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Dating in Africa versus the West, and who have it worse. Okay, so to the question of who have it worse, in your opinion, who have it worse? And this time, I'm not gonna be contributing. I'm gonna wait for you guys to type. Between dating in dating in Africa versus the West, who have it worse? Who have it worse? And you can literally simplify when it comes to American women. Kenny says, just say 50-50 sounds cute online. I know. It's like, oh, me and my fiance, we go 50-50. Me and my husband, we do 50-50. Okay, but you know what? In reality, I think some men just prefer to be the providers. Oh, it means born it well. Okay. I think in reality, men are meant to be providers, because I've also seen women in the US who literally have the same job opportunities as these men, but they choose to just stay at home and like raise children, or maybe they have an agreement with the man, like, oh, I must stay home while you go and provide for us. So I think it's literally an agreement, but there's just this pressure, especially this. Let me tell you, when women realize a fellow woman is not working, she's just being provided for. Let me tell you, the number of like warnings you're gonna be getting. Lord, don't do that. Oh my God, he is not good for you. Okay, you should be okay. And it's like right now you can't even breathe. And I know when you provide for yourself, it's like you have power over your body, you have authority over yourself because you're providing for yourself. But it's like we are getting to a point where like we are even allergic to seeing somebody being provided for. The moment you see somebody being provided for, it's like, God, no, don't do that. Like, don't allow him to provide. No, 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 run. Okay. If you want traditional men, then be a traditional woman. Okay. Okay, and maybe this is something that we shouldn't want men to be providers while we expect them to be healthy. Okay. Okay, if you want your man to like be the 100% provider, then be the 100% caretaker of the home. When he gets home, he have some, start the shower for him, hot food on the table, all those things. Okay, because I think that's where it goes down to. Okay, because honestly right now we are literally getting unrealistic, and also we've gotten to a point where like we are literally allergic to seeing women being provided for. Okay, and I think it's fellow women to women. It's like when you see somebody being provided for, it's like, oh my God, that person is gonna disappoint her. Run. Irish boy says, hi, how are you? How are you? Where are you from? I'm good. I'm from Kenya. Where are you from, Irish boy? I'm assuming you're from Ireland. Bob says, in Kenya, because over here they hate when the women contributes. No, okay, no, I think we have that whole community online where like it's like people who are allergic to seeing women being provided for. Okay, so yeah. Uh, okay, and also they don't want you to get the job so that you can contribute to the household. It's like, get a job, then the man still provides 100%. Your money is for you, for your glowing, for your savings, to send to your family. Like, the man's money is okay, the role of the man's money is for the household, to maintain the household. The woman's money is for her own personal glow up. That's what the woman's money is for. Okay, for personal expenses, personal glow ups. Okay, yeah. Oh. Irish boy says, I met a Kenyan girl yesterday online and she asked me for money. She doesn't talk anymore because I didn't give her money. Okay, Bob said, I think Irish boy, you can scroll up. Oh, why is this thing not scrolling up? Bob says 50-50 is real when you're not dating hungry people. I think that's your answer right there, Irish boy. Like 50-50 is real when you're not dating hungry people. You know, I don't understand where people get the audacity to borrow people money the moment they see them. Let me tell you, I am such a shy person when it comes to even asking for help. When I meet people, I usually don't, unless I don't want. No, for me it's just like, that's just, I never, my fiance, when we started speaking, and like, I never borrowed him money. Like, no, like, I'm a die with my problems. I'm a die with my problems. Meet somebody today and then tomorrow you're borrowing them money. That's just crazy. African women, and that's literally ruining Kenyan people's name. Okay, just stop that borrowing. Okay, hold on a little bit. Why should I send money to a stranger I don't know? Because I'm European and white, they assume I'm rich. That's something that we're talking about. If she's my wife, then it's okay to give her some money, but not someone I barely know. Okay. I see what you're saying. If you know her and she's your girlfriend, why not? You should provide for her. But like, if you just met her, I also agree with you that that's like, that's bold to borrow somebody money during the first interaction. It's like, okay, if she's my wife, then that's okay, give her some money. Okay, Progress says, okay. Irish boy says, she probably would accept the money, then then block me. Okay, I think what you did was right. Like, don't send the money. Okay, you will send the money eventually if you guys get someplace, but honestly, just don't. Okay, just try to, and I think this is something that I would tell women, even from African transit. I know things are tough. Like, I know things are tough, but let us not be like that. Let us not be out there like you just met someone and you want them to send you money instantly. God. She probably accept. Bob says, let the woman go and work. I'll maintain the house. Ah! No, you're just stooping too low. Let the woman go and work. I'll maintain the house. Why? You are the man. You're supposed to be out there hunting and gathering. Ah. Okay, it's rude as well to ask money when you only know them that minute. I agree with you. Like, yeah, if you only know somebody 30 minutes, you know what? Just wait. Because, first of all, you could even offer it yourself. Like, when you're not being asked for, you're like, oh, how can I help you here and there? But yeah, okay. It's not that I don't have the money, it's just I barely know you. And what if you using me and she's an adult? It's her own responsibility to have her own money. I'm not a bank. Ah! Okay, just keep moving, or like uh you guys work your things out. Okay, you guys work your things out, because at the end of the day I understand her, because I know how things are. Like, wow. Guys, welcome to the live stream. We are talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually have it worse? And we had a question asking, would you prefer to date in Africa or in the West, and why? Okay, would you prefer to date in Africa or in the West, or why? And guys, if you're just joining in, make sure you are liking the live stream, guys, and subscribing. That really helps me out, guys. Let's grow this channel to where we are gonna be um, at a good place. Okay. Wow, guys, you can see the confessions, and I hope the women, we are learning something. I hope we are learning something. Okay, just okay. Bob says I prefer to date here in Africa. Why do you prefer to date in Africa? Okay, okay. Just because you guys didn't get along, don't bash her. Don't bash her. Just keep walking. Keep walking. Why do you prefer, Bob? Why do you prefer to date here in Africa? And the fact that she told me right now, okay, maybe she didn't like your response, okay, but if it doesn't work out, just keep walking, okay, because that's the beauty of these days. Like, the internet, you can meet somebody on dating apps, okay. Why would you prefer to date people from Africa? Mm-hmm. Dating is so hard in Ireland. Too many women just want rich men. And you know why they want rich men? Because they also have their own jobs. So they also have their own jobs, which means they are not trying to date somebody who is doing below them. Well, I don't know. And I think that's why so many people from other countries are looking for African queens and kings, okay, because for us we are literally so easy to please, okay, because most of the things, and also not to mention, when you come to with your euro to an African country, you can literally be a king with your let's say with your $1,000 or euros. When you come with that money in African countries, you're literally rich, okay, you're literally doing good, okay. So there's also that aspect. Okay. Dating is so hard. The internet has destroyed dating. Too many options. But too many options isn't that okay? And I know it's too many options. Too many options make people disposable. Like, you really don't care about people's feelings because there's too many options. Uh, Marcus, Mark Aldu Loisan says, morning says, why don't you having multiple wives? Because I think we've lived that. You're live freezing. Am I live? I am having such a trash internet. I'm gonna be changing it by next month. Mark Azu asked a question, and I'm hoping I'm live. Can somebody please confirm for me if I'm live? Just type you're live. Am I still freezing? Am I still freezing? Sorry guys, sorry guys. Wow, maybe I'm still freezing. Oh Lord, now I don't know what to do. For an African country, am I still freezing? Okay, I think I'm live. I just checked for myself. I'm still live, okay? Mark Adu says, morning sis, why don't females in Africa support men having multiple wives? The reason is we've lived this reality with okay, so I'm not freezing, which means Irish boy, your internet is having a problem, okay? So I think we've lived this nightmare all our lives, okay? For example, me personally, my grandfather had 2 wives, okay? The whole thing of like it's a large family, you guys are disagreeing, not to mention the poverty, like it's and then you're fighting for wealth between the two families, and I think for other people who had 4 wives, 5 wives, I think for us we've lived this reality for a lot of time. So right now we are just tired with those limiting traditions, okay? I think that's just what it is out here. I don't know if somebody who is from Africa have an opinion to the question that Mark Adur asked. uh, so if you have a question, I think for us is because most of us we've lived the reality. Either our grandfather or our father or our great grandfather had 2 wives, and we saw how it affected the fights between the 2 wives. You can only imagine all the trauma that comes with like having such a large family. For example, my grandfather did have like I think 18 children. Some of them are deceased right now, but can you imagine 18 children and you're trying to divide a piece of land between these 18 children? It's just nightmare, okay? Okay. Africa is huge. You can marry multiple wives in some part. Yes, you still can, but people, I think women are getting tired of that. The only women who are still accepting that is women who have no options, okay? If a woman have no options and she doesn't have say over her life, those are the people who are agreeing that. Also other people who are still doing that, people who still subscribe to Islam. Sorry if you're Islam, but that's just it. People who are still Islam, they are allowed to have, men are allowed to have 4 wives, and the women are allowed to just have that one man. So there's also that. um, there's a lot of things going on when it comes to this whole thing. So yeah, some communities, but most women who are educated are not allowing that to happen. Because I think all men should have multiple wives. But do you just realize that's just patriarchy talking right now, saying that men should have multiple wives? How about women should have multiple husbands? Like, well, a woman should have 5 husbands at most. Okay, I just think I can't even imagine how men can be selfish to want to have 4 wives, even to create rules, to even write to write religious text that says that they are allowed to have 4 wives, but the woman is only allowed to have one. Do you realize how selfish that is? Which is why sometimes I don't understand why we still follow some of these religions. Okay, can you imagine how silly is that? That like God said that a man can have 4 wives. And I'm not against anything. I'm just saying, okay? I think men are so selfish. Men are so selfish. Because if you are allowed to have, let me tell you, if you are allowed to have 4 wives, if you marry me and I am as a first wife and then you end up marrying other women, I'm going to tell you for sure, I'm also going to marry some men. I'm also going to marry several men, okay? We're not going to be doing that game over here. Okay, you froze when you mentioned it. Okay, Makadu says men having multiple wives is traditional. Okay, and I know it's traditional in African countries, but is it traditional anywhere else? And is traditions that were created by patriarchy, which is literally the problem that we've been having all these years. Kenny says, I don't want multiple wives. That's too much pleasure and talking. Okay? You guys can't even look after one wife when it comes to the time of the month, during her luteal phase, during her periods. You're already tired, not to mention the providing. God, in this economy right now, can you even be able to provide for more than two? Even more than one? Who does that? God, I think, for me, I just think it's too much. Right now, men should even be running away from those practices of like marrying more than one wife. What do you guys think about that? Like, Makadu is saying men having multiple wives is traditional and it should be allowed to continue happening. Okay? Right now, for example, right now, even providing for one household is just so too expensive. Not to mention, hey, no, you have to be a billionaire to even start thinking about having two wives. Makadu, I don't think any women should have multiple husbands. Why? Why? Patriarchy again, and also selfishness. Let me tell you, if I am married to a man who thinks that having multiple women, multiple wives is okay, I'm also gonna be having multiple men, because we're not going to be playing these games over here. So you are allowed to have sex or like to pleasure yourself with how many women are you multiple women, but I'm only allowed to wait for you to walk your thing through all these women so that you can get to me. No. Not to mention, I can only imagine if one of you, let's say this is one man with 5 women, okay? If one of the women gets sick, or like let's say she cheats and get an infectious disease, I can only imagine how dangerous that can be, and how, God, no, thank you, no, Lord, no, thank you. Eh, uh, Kedin says hi to you, Kedin. Hello from Jamaica. Oh, Jamaicans in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. I like Jamaica. Okay, I like Jamaica. Makadu says you're crazy thinking that women should have. You're crazy thinking that women should have multiple husbands. Why shouldn't they have multiple husbands? Okay, if a man can have multiple women, why shouldn't a woman have multiple husbands? Why? Like, for, and one can come in morning hours, or they can even interchange. Even if it's two, they can interchange. You sleep so then there's two rooms, so the other man sleeps in the other room today, and that you keep exchanging. Because honestly, I don't know how our grandmothers were doing this, allowing themselves to be in these situations, like where somebody have two wives and you are just allowed to, when he comes back from sleeping with the other person, you're just there. No, the happiness says hi, greetings from Iloilo, Philippines in the building. Thank you so much for being here. If you want multiple, I think you meant husbands, I would divorce. If you want multiple husbands, I'm assuming you're saying husbands, I would divorce you. Okay, just do it. Because we're not gonna be sitting here and lying to each other. Like, you have 4 wives, why should I not have also 3 husbands? Makadu says, if you want multiple husbands, I would divorce you. That's all. You're crazy. You too. Like, if you want multiple women, I would also divorce you, because you're also crazy. What's the benefit of a woman to have multiple husbands? Okay, I'm just doing tit for tat with him. Like, he's talking about patriarchy and the way in African traditions, like, we a man would have multiple wives and it was allowed. But right now, most women are moving away from that. Most women do not advocate for that, or they don't want that to happen to them. Okay, so he was asking why, and I just said, I think at this point people are just tired. People are just tired of these practices that are just so selfish for the men. Kenny says, would you want multiple husbands? And be honest, no. I think a one man is enough, and I would expect my man to want to just have one wife, sorry. Okay, but when it comes to those games of like he wants multiple wives, then why should I not have multiple husbands? Honestly, Kenny, to be honest, no. I think one is also a lot to deal with. It's also a lot to even deal with one. I can only imagine what it would take to deal with like 4 of them. How am I crazy? I'm a man. You know, that's just patriarchy speaking. Because I have been asking you, why do you think a man should have multiple wives, okay? But you haven't given any substantial or any. You're just saying you're a man, okay? So a man is allowed to be this. No. Uh, I'm good with one wife. Could not handle more than, to be honest. Okay. Okay. Also, even in today's economy, okay, I'm just even wondering, because this is African women are becoming Americanized. And that's what we were talking about, dating in Africa versus the West. That's what you're talking about. Of course, the West have effects. But for example, my dad doesn't have 2 wives. He only have 1 wife, my mom, okay? He couldn't even afford 2 wives. Okay, those traditions are far gone. Right now, people are only having 1 wife. I think because especially if you come from a family, for example, my grandfather had 2 wives. And we all saw how that was tiring, how that was stressing, not, yeah, it's just a lot of work, and he's not, I don't think he's a good practice. Do you guys think polygamy is a good practice? Okay, honestly, that's a good question. Let me put it up there. There is no problem with African women getting Americanized. It's just now that like we we know, I even don't know why our grandmothers were allowing that to even happen to them, like, okay. uh do you guys agree with polygamy? Let me type that question. The evidence says some traditions don't fit in modern ages. Yeah, it's nothing about being Americanized or anything. It's just some traditions are just meant. Some traditions just shows uh, how patriarchy was such a bad thing. Okay, especially like this one of having multiple wives, and also that's why I usually sympathize with. And I'm not saying that Islam is not a good religion, but I'm also saying that I'm so surprised that we are still following these religions without questioning. Because honestly, that's a man-made writing. That a man can have 4 women. That's man-made writing. That's man-made. So guys, we have a question on the screen. Do you guys support polygamy? What are your thoughts when it comes to polygamy? Uh, let us help answer our friend's question here. Mark Adu says we need to bring back the old tradition. Okay, because I'm assuming Mark Adu, I'm assuming that you're American. Can you do that? If is it even allowed to do that in America? Are you allowed to have several wives in America? Do you support the evidence says no, being Christian I cannot support polygamy. Guys, do you support polygamy? Do you suppose McAdoo is I think he's American. He's saying that like African women are getting Americanized because we are saying no to polygamy. Like, if you can't get satisfied with having 1 wife, then like why do you even want her? Just okay, just stay single and have several of them. McAdoo says, I'm looking for 20 wives in Africa. I'm looking for 20 wives in Africa. I'm pretty sure that you won't find. Oh, you will find, but they will just use you for financial gain. Okay, you think you're smarter than these people? 20 wives? No, no. And then where will you take them? Because it's not allowed in America. You can't, because I know you can't have several wives in America. Twin man to second world. Twin man second world says 1 wife. Okay, okay. Guys, are you team 1 wife or team 2 wives? Or team several wives? Like Mark, you say he wants 20 wives. 20. 20. 1, 2, 3, 20. Hey. Ruki says depends as a man. Now your money good talk. Okay, your money good talk. Okay. How are you doing, Rookie? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Guys, those who are joining the live stream right now, make sure you are liking the live stream. And for the new ones here, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. The header says, Makadu, you will need to pay dowry a lot, okay? And I think that's something that we were talking about when we started the show. Dowry in Africa. Like, you literally have to pay dowry to get married to any lady. Can you imagine multiple paying dowry for like 20 women? Oh, that would literally leave you broke. One family says they want 30 cows, and one cow right now can literally go for $1,000. So, and they went 30 cows. That's $30,000. So multiply by 20 wives. $30,000 for dowry multiplied by 30 wives. Oh God, you'll go to back to America naked from poverty. I'm good. I'm good. God, we are talking about polygamy here. Do you guys support polygamy? What do you think? Because I think it's such a tradition that shows who men really are and how selfish they are. Like they want to please themselves or pleasure themselves with 5 women, but the woman is allowed to just wait. Okay, just wait until you rotate your body across the table with all these women. Let's say you have 5. So, as a woman who is in polygamy, I'm supposed to wait for the husband to rotate his body to all these people that are waiting for him for the conjugal rights. Can you imagine? He's just shameful. I would hate myself for putting myself in such a position or like putting myself in such a situation. Okay, can you imagine you waiting, like you're feeling you're ovulating or whatever is going on with you, and you're waiting for somebody to rotate, like your day is not yet. Ah, Lord. No. Twin One says, not all African countries do dowry. Praise the Lord. Most of them do. And I know in the US, you guys don't do dowry. It's like the parents are just like, okay, we bless you. Keep moving. Okay. Hey, you guys are having so much fun with this. I think this is the discussion you are waiting for. Polygamy. I'm waking up your demons from the forefathers who literally couldn't do without 3 wives. Makadu says, why you got to pay family member to marry your daughters? That's crazy. I know. I know, because also my fiance, he's American. He was saying like, why do you have to pay to have somebody, like he was saying that like is it a business, like are you selling your honestly, personally, when I look at it now, I'm like, that's literally unfair to the girl, because when these people sell you, it's like the family have already paid dowry for you, you get on the other side, and then they are mean to you, then you are like, oh my God, when I go back my family has to return the dowry. Then it's literally like a business. Once sold, they can never be returned. So it really gets chaotic. The heaven says, still, if he can afford it and wants to have many wives, who are we to judge? Always take to not my kind of relationship. Okay, but personally, as a person, I'm not gonna be putting myself in that situation. The moment you find yourself a second wife, I'm gonna keep walking. Okay, keep walking, because I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where like I have to wait for somebody to rotate before he get no. David says, one is enough work and stress for me. Okay, bear in mind, you want 20 wives, you still have to compliment all of them. You still have to tell them they are the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in this world, while you have 19 others. Remember, okay, you're the most beautiful woman. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, while you have 19 other women. Okay, you still have to be there for her during her periods, during childbirth, and you still have to be there for all these other people. So what makes that special? Okay, And then not to mention sometimes you love one of the wives more than the others. I know. Lord. Rookie says, can I ask another? Please ask another question. No, but this one is interesting. You guys have been waiting, but I have other questions. But let's first of all deal with this one because this one is hot. Okay. So true. Mark says that's prostitution. That's prostitution. What's prostitution? A man having 20 wives and rotating his body through the line through 20 wives, that's prostitution right there. Okay, Twin Man says a lot of men just lustful, but one woman is good for me, who the Lord will bless me with. Okay, yeah, I like that. Dowry is a compensation for the woman's workforce that is lost for the family. Okay, when you take this woman, when you marry her, now she's working in your household, she's not working in her father's backyard. Yeah. Okay, do you guys do dowry in the Philippines, in Asia? Do Asians do dowry? Do Asians pay dowry? Okay, Twin Man says, suppose these 20 wives say they want 3 husbands, then how will he feel? Okay, that's what I was telling him. Like, let me tell you, if we are married, let's say, you know, most men do, I think so, is like they marry someone and they don't express their need to have several wives. And then when you're already in, he's like, oh, I want to marry somebody else. When you say that, the moment you say you want somebody else, you want to marry another wife, I also want to have another husband at the same time. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so you want another wife, I want another, and the moment you add, I add. You add one, I add. And let's see how that goes for you. How some men on here don't support having multiple wives because it's not realistic and it's expensive and it's literally an inhumane practice, like a very selfish practice just for your self pleasure. Okay, it's just so unfair. Even thinking about your husband is in another room with a lady that is his wife is just so nasty to even start with. Nasty. Not to mention like the confusion that comes with the children who are born into these families, the constant fights between the wives, the jealousy, the hatred. There's a lot going on in that household. Okay, one wife good for me. Okay, because this is, why would one like to have multiple wives? Name one reasonable advantage, please. Okay, this is the question that we want you to answer before I ask another question. Why would a man like to have multiple wives? One reasonable reason. One, just tell us one and we're gonna leave you alone. One reasonable reason. Okay, so somebody else wanted me to ask another question. Most of these questions so the other thing was another question that I was asking, do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Do women actually want equality, or do they still expect traditional treatment? Twin Man says, God bless one wife for one husband. Yeah, that's what it is right there. The Hebner says, born in Austria, Europe, but in the Philippines. Oh, so, okay. There is no dowry, but you need to support the family constantly. Okay, wow. There's no dowry in the Philippines? Wow, that's okay. So you need to support the family constantly. Okay, because you took their daughter from them. So wow. Do you guys do that in Europe? Like, do you guys pay dowry in Europe? I'm assuming no. It mostly sounds like an African thing. But Kazu says it's not selfish, it's traditional. The reason it is okay, but it's not traditional to America, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, guys, welcome to the live stream. My name is Wamboy. Good to see you. We're talking about dating in Africa versus the West. Who actually have it worse? Okay, so to the question, I want us to answer the question: who have it worse? Okay, people who date in Africa or those who date in the West? Let me type that question. who have it worse? So because that was the question that we were discussing the whole time. Who have it worse? Okay, who have it worse? Those who date in Africa or Europe stroke US or the West, okay? Let me keep reading. Twin says, I'm from the Caribbean, no dowry. Wow, it sounds like that. And Hebina confirmed that in Asia there is no dowry, but you have to support the family constantly. Wow, there's no dowry, not anymore, but it was common in the early 1900s. I think at some point we should just drop some of these things because they are really nasty and disgusting. And I know it's an appreciation to the family, but it just sounds like business and it's not good most of the time. That's why even when a woman gets married and there's dowry involved, you can even get abused and you can't even leave because this man paid some money to your family. You know, it's really disgusting and tiresome to even think about it. Who have it worse? Those who date in Africa or those who date in Europe? Oh, even we can even talk about men and women. Men have it worse no matter where. Okay. Okay, so guys, we have the question. Let me pin it. So, because that's the question that we've been trying to solve this whole time on the entire live stream. So, who have it worse? Those who date in Africa or in Europe? And those who date in Africa could be African versus Africans. It could be Europeans dating Africans. It could be black people in the Caribbean, in US, in UK dating. I know you guys get the gist. You get what I'm saying. So, who have it worst according to you? I'm gonna read every one of you as we wind up. Twin says, if I marry, it's just my wife and I'm not so oh Lord, you're not gonna be supporting her family? Oh Lord. Oh God, no. You should maybe you should. But I know, especially one of the other things that we need to stop is black people. Okay, let me talk about Africans. Because I don't want to have black Americans here attacking me right, left, and center. Okay, the one thing that we need to stop as Africans is the whole black tax thing. And another thing that I have been preaching on this channel that people need to stop giving birth to children that you want them to take care of you, okay? And when they don't find good jobs, you've educated them, they don't find good jobs, you're giving them pressure, making them feel like they're not good enough. Stop having children expecting. Let's stop this whole thing of black tax. The whole burdening your children, the whole burdening your family member when another person, when somebody is out there, they're trying to make it, you want to be a burden to them. And I wanted to say, like, Africans, let's stop that. Like, the whole burdening each other, the whole black tax thing is just messed up. And I know I'm one of those people who is gonna support my family anyways, but let me support because I want to, not because it's compulsory or mandatory, because it's really annoying. So Twin Man says if he marry, it's just him and his wife. He's not trying to support the wife's family, period. Like the brother, I don't know, the uncle to the sister, all these people. Make sure you look money for yourself. Stop hanging around and like burdening people. And the Heaven says in Europe, women only date for support. Other women don't date. They have their own money. And I know that, and I think we did discuss that in the beginning of the show. Most women in Europe and in the US have their own money. They have their own jobs. While in Africa, because, and I did say there are jobs, but not equal opportunities as we said. So which means women mostly end up depending on the men, and that have that. So, human cultural thing, okay, cultural thing. Yeah, when you go to Rome, you have to behave the way Romans do. So when you marry into that culture, if you don't do that, then they need to find somebody else for their daughter so that they can get support. But honestly, let us stop the what is it called, black tax. it's literally such an annoying thing. Like, you're trying to build yourself, you're trying to start a business, and then, like, as soon as you get started, even you can start a shop, and then your family is there trying to get things on loan. It's just such an annoying thing, and I know for sure. Mark says, I'm black. Oh my god, your name sounds. I just assumed you were white. Okay, but that's okay. That's okay. Your name sounds. I think this name I've seen it with, like, I know somebody who lives near me here in where I live here in Kenya, and they have this exact name and they are white. Wow. Twin says, in the Caribbean, we don't have to support our wives' families. When a man and woman get married, the man support his wife and their new home, but he don't have to support his wife's family. Out here, I think it's both, but mostly if you don't support the wife family, the wife is going to feel upset, like you don't support her family. And this is usually when the woman do not work. Okay. uh I think it's a thing, like, out here, and especially here in Kenya, we are family oriented, or like, we still know the grandmother to our, we are so interconnected and stuff. So maybe that contributes to, like, the type of baggage that you have when it comes to family and black tax. But yeah, uh, Kenny says, the USA the United States of America have it worse. We run off money, and I know that for sure. I know that for sure. Let me tell you, for example, something that I wasn't ready for. Okay, to go to the ER in the US, you're gonna be charged thousands of dollars. Okay, to go to the ER, and you remember you even have an insurance. Okay, when you get admitted in the hospital, again they're gonna charge you thousands of dollars. I was seeing another video of a woman saying the cost of uh delivering, or even miscarriage. I think she was talking about she had 3 miscarriages, and she was giving us the price. The first miscarriage was like $54,000. That's a lot of money. Okay, so, and I know you guys have it worse when it comes to dating, because the fact that your economy is up there, also the women are gonna expect you guys to play up there. So wow. But me, I think I would say I wanted to say Africans have it worse, but I don't know. Twin Man says the tradition is mainly African in other places. Wow, mostly African. I think most of us Africans, and I think that's why I think we keep dragging each other, pulling each other behind. When you see one of us trying to get out, you're pulling them by asking them for all the money that they are making, by giving bad and then expecting these people to pay school fees for our children. I remember growing up how entitled I used to feel to my aunt, like, oh my god, she has money and she can't help me. But then as I grew up and I became myself, I realized that was never their responsibility. Okay, the reason they don't have as many children as my parents is because they knew that they couldn't take care of that number of children. So yeah. Okay, let me keep reading. Sis, do you have lions in your backyard? I wish I had. Unfortunately, I don't. The Hebrew says, if you want to break free from family burdens, do so. No one says it's easy. Women think men have it easy to live their own lives and earn enough money. Okay. Yeah, I think now where I'm at in life, I'm at a place where, like, you gotta make your own rules at some point. Like, because this family, they can literally drag you. Okay, somebody random, when you finally you get a job, you've worked for something so hard, you've been building something, and then they're like, oh god, it's paying off. And then your uncle wants a 10,000 loan, another person wants 20,000 loan, another person wants 500 only, another person is, can you give me a hand? He's just a cycle of never ending thing. Okay, so you guys, oh my god, it's just been so fun, and the whole polygamy stuff made me see you guys. But surprisingly, most men do not want to have multiple women. I think the economy have you guys on the floor that you can't even imagine providing. And I think most of you guys do love your ladies. Most of you guys, I think you do love your ladies, and just to see men having that level of love. Welcome to adult life, madam. Oh God, it's so crazy. Let me tell you, I'm not ready for adulthood. I am not. That's why it's when some random people ask me like, when are you gonna have a child, or like, will you have children? I just look them like, oh my God, it's just so tough. It's just so tough. Okay, not to say that like children are the burden, but they literally add to they add to the mathematics like. And also the other thing that I just realized, as an adult, 6 plus 5 is equals 50. As a child, 6 plus 5 equals 11. As an adult, 6 plus 5 is equals to 50. It's like these bills just accumulate continuously, okay? So, oh my God, I wouldn't have had this conversation in any other way. Does anyone have a question or something? So we normally have such conversations every day. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, guys. Every other day we have this conversation, not this exact one. So tomorrow we are gonna come back with a different one, but tomorrow is the last day of our week because Monday through Thursday. Okay, so guys, be looking for me when you have some free time. Watch my videos, guys, and that really helps me out. Debna says it's not getting easier. Listen to a 56-year-old man. I don't know why. For some reason, I just assumed you are. I don't know. I think I assumed you are in your 30s. Okay, 56. Oh wow, it's not getting easier. Oh Lord. Okay, guys, you're just scaring us. But you know what? It's not gonna get easier because the economy is getting tighter. Things are getting rougher and all of those things. But you know what? Because we are here, we're just gonna do it. So I think in conclusion, guys, we did have a question. If you just joined in, can you please answer the question? Who have it worse? Those who date in Africa or those who date in Europe versus US? Versus those who date in literally the West in general. I think most people said that people who date in the US have it worse. But honestly, in my opinion, nobody have it better than the other one. Okay, it depends with the culture, it depends with the tradition. We saw Hebrew telling us in Asia, they don't pay dowry, but the girl's family expect you to support them continuously. In Africa, you have to pay dowry and also continuously support. Okay, all these things. I think it's only Europe and US where people are literally independent, not depending so much on each other, not because of economic circumstances, it's just life. Okay, and that's just what it is right there. Oh my God. Oh Lord, this has been such an eye-opening and fulfilling and also fun. We had so much laugh here. Okay, and I hope the laugh was good enough for you guys to subscribe. Oh my God, how many minutes to go? 8. But I think we're just good to leave. Anyone with a question, if you have a question, you can literally ask me. My name is Wamboi. I have my lips set dry for talking. Okay. So thank you guys for being here. Let me see if there's any questions that we didn't cover here. Okay, let's answer this question. Do men or women have it harder in today's dating scene? Let's see, because we said who have it worse in the country. Let me type this question as we wind up. Do men or women have it worse? Not worse, harder. This one is harder. In today's, you guys can also answer as I type. Okay, in your opinion, do men or women have it harder in today's dating scene? I think, honestly, I think men have it harder today, to be really honest with you guys. Because first of all, we are talking about 50-50 when it comes to US and Europe, because everybody have a job. And also when it comes to Africa, we're also talking about 50-50 that's not playing out, which means most of the time, 90% of the time, men in Africa are the ones who are providing. I think men have it worse. I think men have it worse. Women have it worse in terms of like abuse and stuff like that. But when it comes to like real day to day and all of that and what is expected of them, let me tell you, and the society is getting more and more materialistic. So I think men have it worse. Okay, not to even side with them, but the fact that the society is getting more materialistic. We are looking, what do you have as a man every other time before we even converse. Before I even know your name, I want to know, what do you have, like what can you do for me, how will you make my life better? Because of that, I think men have it worse, in my opinion. Okay, so I don't know, US, let me give you a second or two to see if you guys have an opinion when it comes to like who have it worse, when it comes to who have it harder when it comes to men and women. In my opinion, men have it harder because of the expectations. You're expected to have your things together, your finances together, your emotions together. Well, as a woman, what you're expected to have is just beauty and done. Okay. Yeah, so I think you guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I think you guys are not willing to answer who have it harder. Okay, anyway, does it even matter? Whoever have it harder, like I think they get used to it. So I don't think he's gonna get any easier when it comes to dating, because life is also advancing and we are also advancing with it. Okay, so you guys, make sure whatever you're doing when it comes to you dating, when it comes to what you're doing, make sure it favors you. If you prefer having several partners, whether male or female, when it comes to polygamy, monogamy and all of those things, those are just your personal decisions to make. But thank you guys for being here with me, and we're gonna see you guys tomorrow same time, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So convert that to your local time. For those who are in Kenya, it's 8 p.m. Kenyan time. For those who are where? In California, it's 10. West Coast time is 10 a.m. Okay, so convert that to your local time and you can. And you know what? The simpler thing is just subscribe, okay, and look for me around this hour again tomorrow. Okay, so enough of all the talking and everything. So guys, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.